Hello, hope you're doing well. I'm getting ready to cook again. Who's gonna get the second Red Bull seat? I have a poll up and running. Colapinto, Perez, Lawson. Sorry, the football. No, we don't do football here. Sorry. I do have another Uncle Football channel if you want to see it. Hello. 2 votes. Perez, oh my god, Perez is bottom. Third vote, let's see. Oh, one for Colapinto. Nice. You can comment if you want. Colapinto, yes. I mean, I know, my God, Colapinto for the second seat in 2025 would be a massive step up. But, I mean, Lawson is okay, but he hasn't been like. I mean, I know he outpaced Tsunoda when he came back in at Kota, but the problem with Lawson is that it feels like if Lawson really was that good, I think Red Bull would have actually like moved Tsunoda aside for Lawson, and we would have had like a full season of Lawson and Ricciardo at the team for this season instead. Colapinto, I don't know how good he really is, but maybe, just maybe, he might be good, might be very good, but at the same time, Red Bull don't want to upset Max, and they don't want to lose Max. And you have to remember, Colapinto's not actually had a particularly great junior career. I don't think he's actually won any major championships. Just so you're wondering, I'm cooking minced pork, which is taking a long time to cook, by the way. It's not exactly easy. It takes absolutely ages to like fully cook it through. I just threw his name out there because he's Argentinian, and I wouldn't mind seeing one of them in a top seat. My God, yeah, Colapinto's had like his social media's got like 3.2 million followers on Instagram. Yep, I am steaming minced pork, if you're wondering. But of course, yep, hope you're doing well today, John. I think in terms of like marketing revenue, I think Colapinto would probably do a good job of replacing Perez's Mexican money, which is going to go out to the team, and Telmex have announced that they will not be sponsoring Red Bull this next season. Carlos Slim does seem to be moving away from the team. I know Perez was given a lot of praise by the Ford CEO recently when Ford announced he would be giving Red Bull their engine powers for 2026, but Perez has just not been doing the job. But my God, I mean, it's one thing to be beating Albon, but it really is another to try and compete with Max Verstappen. And of course, I think since Red Bull don't know how good he really is, and because of what happened with Nick de Vries last year, I mean, they'd probably be best advised to actually promote Lawson and then give Colapinto the second seat at RB, just so they can build Colapinto up now that Perez and Ricciardo will be out of the way. And yeah. I mean, Perez, I mean, good grief, that guy is so over the hill now. Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on with. Like, I know Perez doesn't like the Red Bull car during this season and last season, but this is getting ridiculous even for his standards. Like, I think this is like 7 or 8 times he's gone out in Q1. I think with Lawson, I think his seeding is kind of limited, if I'm going to be honest, and I don't know how the hell someone like him would deal with being in the second seat at Red Bull and being compared to Max all the time. Apparently he can be a bit of a difficult character to work with. And then of course you got Colapinto, who is just an unknown certainty at best. So, I mean, essentially he'd be in like this. I mean, both Lawson and Colapinto would end up in the same situation as Gasly and Albon if they're not careful. It's like Red Bull really have just managed their second seat so badly for like the past 5 years. It's not even funny. I don't know what Perez's career, the ultimate rags to riches in a driving sense. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is a thing, like, even though Perez has had so many shenanigans, I think it's probably best to sacrifice Perez for one more season and allow him to, like, keep getting all the flack, because let's be honest, Red Bull just don't have a good alternative at all at this point in time. It's really frustrating, but, you know, I think the best driver Red Bull really should get is actually Carlos Sainz. Unequal Hulkenberg, but Sainz is at Williams, Hulkenberg's at Audi. Neither are available, and frankly, I don't think either of them really want the grief of being at Red Bull. Like, they don't want to suffer the same fate as Ricciardo, Gasly, and Albon. Sad, but it's just a fact. And of course, Christian Horner keeps saying he's scared of, obviously, Sainz and Max's dad falling out, like they did at Toro Rosso. And, you know, Red Bull losing Newey, losing Jonathan Wheatley, losing Will Courtney. It's just going backwards for them. And all we know, they might well lose Max in the next couple of years. So Red Bull are really now on the downhill slope. Like, and none of us have a clue how good Ford engines will be. I mean, Max might be a world champion again, but in reality, this has been a season from hell with his leading the vote. And I have to say, I'm on the fence with this one because, you know, Lawson, I think, has a low ceiling. Perez is probably might be worth sacrificing for one more season so they don't sacrifice a youngster. And Colapinto looks like the best potential. Looks like it's the most potential out of the three drivers to do really well. But of course, if he does really well, then how's their relationship with Max Verstappen going to be? Because of course, if Max decides to leave, well, because of Colapinto potentially like getting in his way, then Red Bull are going to leave are going to lose. Red Bull will lose their golden egg. None of my problems, by the way, but, you know, Red Bull gonna Red Bull as always. Apparently I had some bloke from Paraguay asking me for football. Max and Russell will swap seats. Yeah, well, there's also been rumours that Max would be going to Aston Martin if, of course, Papa Stroll decides Alonso is getting too old and he needs to move people on. Conspiracy theory, McLaren have one of Sainz's personal sponsors. Maybe what you are saying that Carlos Sainz that McLaren might bring Carlos Sainz back might not be crazy after all. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though. 25-year-old Lando Norris, well, he's not quite 25, but he's nearly 25. And then, of course, 23-year-old Piastri. Is that what you want your team to be like? It kind of reminds me of what BMW was Sauber like back in 2007 and 2008 in that. Okay, I know Kubica was a good up-and-coming talent, but neither Kubica and Heidfeld at the time were big names, and they just, you know, and then the BMW Sauber gave up on developing the F108 after Kubica won at Canada, saying that that was the publicity stunt they wanted to show that they could win races without Williams. And then 2009 was a disaster, and then they sold the team back to Sauber, and it was just like, what a waste of money. Like, I am fearing that McLaren could be looking back at his time and, like, basically look at it like, oh, we wasted an opportunity, a success, winning a championship, whether it's the drivers or constructors. So there's that, I'm afraid. Like, I mean, Jody Scheckter won the championship in 1979, and once he did that, he retired after 1980 with no regrets. Like, he got the job done, and, you know, he's forever a Formula One world champion, which is something that only like 32 other men have ever done since 1950. I mean, it's a bit like Johnny Hook apparently turning down a seat at McLaren for 1993-ish when, you know, had the chance of I don't know, being at McLaren in what in the seat, I ended up going to Mika Hakkinen, and Hakkinen ended up becoming a champion, and Herbert ended up with 3 career wins. Trying to think what else. John Lacey chose Ferrari over Williams, but of course I think John Lacey just wanted to go to Ferrari because of him being Sicilian. Okay, that might be a case of a driver not regretting his career decisions despite it being the worst move. And then, of course, Alonso, who, of course, has made many career decisions that you could just sit there and wonder what coulda, shoulda, woulda. And then, of course, Jacques Villeneuve turned down Williams, turned down McLaren, turned down Ferrari. This, that, and the other, loads of other excuses that we could talk about when it comes to Jackie Villeneuve. I mean, most of your favourite drivers have won races, even Gasly. Yeah, well, I don't really want to be out here supporting someone like, trying to think. I mean, I do actually like Magnussen and Hulkenberg, but it's not like I think that I'm really, really like throwing my weight behind them because it's obvious they're just midfield drivers deep in their 30s, and it's not like anything is going to change soon unless something crazy happens. I can only presume Hulkenberg is joining Audi Sauber for the bag at this point because he is now like 37 years old and he's not going to be like around in the sport for much longer, so why not get the bag? I mean, he's probably looked at the amount of money Ricciardo's earned and thought, I want a bit of that money. I mean, having said that, I mean, Albon's never won a race. Magnussen only has 1 podium. Hulkenberg has no podiums, and of course leads the chart for most races without a podium. Nick Heidfeld never won a race. He was a favourite of mine. Although Olivier Panis did win a race. I'm trying to remember that list I did of 50 drivers, like 50-odd drivers I chose that I thought were my all-time favourite. I mean, Webber and Fisichella obviously won. Kubica and Montoya on the list. Who else was there? Tony Gardemeister never won a rally in his WRC career. There's just loads of names I can't even remember. Gasly 12 out of 10 for Monza 2020. Never forget that. W glazing. Well, yeah, but dude, I was just absolutely over the moon to see Gasly win a race after everything he had been through by that point. Had his house robbed, split with his girlfriend, saw one of his best mates in Antoine Hubert deleted at Spa-Francorchamps, sacked by the Red Bull senior team. It was like a huge redemption arc going on for Gasly, and you've got to realise, you've got to be happy for him. Villeneuve regrets joining BAR, yeah. I mean, the thing, I'm not sure whether, Villeneuve would have actually won a second world title had he gone to McLaren, because obviously Mika Hakkinen, what a driver he was in his prime. Like, even with a dodgy 1999, he still won the title, and I think Hakkinen would have obviously had like team orders in his favour, I'm afraid. So maybe then the opposite narrative in a parallel universe would have been Villeneuve should have gone to BAR and maybe gone and built his own team up, like Schumacher did at Ferrari. But as we all know, I mean, Villeneuve decided to run after the money, and I mean, Villeneuve has a world title and 11 wins. Like, he's achieved more than what Daniel Ricciardo achieved in his career. So, I mean, at least he's like on the Hall of Fame in F1 terms. I mean, and he actually did something his dad failed to do when Jules was in F1. I mean, ultimately, like, I don't think any driver will ever go down quite as badly as Dan Ricciardo in terms of career moves, because Dan Ricciardo decided to chase the bag despite having never won a title, unlike Villeneuve or Fernando Alonso. At least once you get a world championship, at least I can understand that a driver might decide to do something a bit strange and a bit unorthodox in terms of career moves. Or even like Kimi Raikkonen deciding to go to the WRC for a couple of years. Like, I mean, you're always going to be a champion, so no matter how bad things get, like, no one can take away your achievements. And then, of course, Damon Hill deciding to go to Arrows and Jordan when he left Williams. Like, yeah, I know, obviously, in the end it backfired, but still a world champion. I mean, the only way you could justify Dan Ricciardo doing like moves to Renault and McLaren was just simply if he actually become a world champion before doing such a move. Like, that's the only way you can justify chasing the bag in the way he did. Best fake title run. Eddie Irvine was so lucky with Schumacher's injury at Silverstone. Like, let's face it, right up until 1999, nothing suggested Eddie Irvine was like a championship caliber driver at all. Like, he was even worse than Felipe Massa or even Rubens Barrichello, to be bluntly honest. Like, at least Massa did a good job against Schumacher in his first year at Ferrari and fairly close to Kimi's pace in 2007, and apart from a couple of mechanical failures and being forced to start down the grid at Silverstone at Hungary. But Eddie Irvine had never won a race, never taken a pole position, and never actually took any poles in his career anyway before 1999. And at best, he only scored like half of Schumacher's points in 1998, and the year before, I think he only took like 1/3 of Schumacher's point in 97. I mean, in 96, his first year at Ferrari, his car just kept breaking down, hence why he only got 11 points, but he was just so unlucky that year. But nothing made it seem like Eddie Irvine was going to do anything at Ferrari. The reason why I said that Daniel Ricciardo could have won a title in 2021 is because of the amount of chaos and infighting that was going on between Hamilton and Verstappen, because it was not a clean fight. Like, obviously, in a clean season where Villeneuve and Hamilton avoid hitting each other and doing anything stupid, then obviously Dan Ricciardo gets nowhere near close to either of them. But like I said, Ricciardo could have taken advantage of chaos and even started playing mind games with the pair of Max and Lewis. That's why I always say it could have been his championship. Let's face it, if 2007 had been like a clean season for McLaren, Alonso and Hamilton, then I highly doubt Kimi Raikkonen would have been a champion. That's what I mean. Because McLaren, I think, had the best car in the first half of the year, but of course, as we know, Spygate and Hamilton Alonso taking points off each other completely ruined it. Complete downgrade of Vettel equals Bottas. Oh my God, Bottas. I mean, for me, when Bottas had a good race like 2019 Australia or maybe the Russian Grand Prix, can't remember which year was it. Was it 2017, 18 or 19? I can't remember which race, but yeah, Bottas on his day was very good, but he always needed to start on the front row to do anything, to be honest. So, because the thing with Bottas is that he had zero, like, he's never been like a particularly exceptional overtaker. No notable wet weather skills like a Barrichello or a Jensen Button. So, it's like every win Bottas has had has always been from the front. No overtake, very little overtaking, very little drama, excitement. It's just like a slightly faster version of Nick Heidfeld. Oh yeah, that Russia win. I can't remember what happened in Russia. Oh yeah, that was the first time he won a race. Oh yeah, that was a great drive. Like Kimmy was caught out by surprise, thinking that he was racing Hamilton, but then he was told by his engineer, what's it, Dave Greenwood, that he was actually racing Bottas. He was like, oh, okay, I got it the wrong way round. That's when you know Bottas was having a good day, like the fact that Kimmy didn't expect it to happen. I know some Bottas fans accuse Kimmy of disrespect, but it's like, yeah, mate, it's Bottas. Like, I mean, Bottas actually had a decent junior career. I think he won the Formula Renault Junior Series and, of course, GP3 before coming to F1. So please comment in the chat if you want Franco to get the Red Bull seat for next year, just type in Franco, Sergio, type in Sergio, Lawson, type in Lawson. I mean, the chat is right. I mean, Colapinto's easily winning by a poll. I mean, honestly, I think it's so tricky. I would probably choose Perez, but just because of the fact that I think I don't want to see Lawson or Colapinto have their reputations thrown in the board so quickly like Gasly and Albon did. I mean, the mental damage it can do struggling as a top team can be pretty horribly consequential, and the fact it could leave a bad, lasting impression upon a driver's reputation. That's really my verdict, to be honest. And I'll leave it there.